Welcome to another episode of the Sourdough Simpleton. I'm Mark Levy, and today we're going to talk about what you need, or what you already may have, to do your own sourdough. So we have a lot of things on the table which we're going to discuss, and hopefully you have some of them which you don't have, or fairly easy to acquire. To begin with, you need something to put your flour in. Flour comes in a paper sack, and after you've opened the flour, you have to put it into something. So I like a square canister like this. It has a pop-off lid, and it's very easy to put your flour into this and keep it safe, dry, and away from any insect infestation, which flour can attract. So these come in a variety of sizes, and as with many other items that we're going to talk about, I do have some links to similar products or the same products which you can purchase at Amazon, but you can also look at a store near you and see what you can find. You've seen this before if you saw the episode about making your own starter. This is a mason jar. It's about a quart mason jar, and mason jars have a lid which come off and have a separate seal to them. Very, very useful for starters. Some people put their starters into plastic containers. They also have crockery containers you can use. It's best that it be non-reactive, so we wouldn't want to use metal, but a good quality plastic, crockery, or glass is certainly fine for that. You've heard me mention weighing things when we're talking about making the starter. We weigh a lot. We weigh things for measurements for breads and for other products that we're making. So a kitchen scale is important. This is an inexpensive one that works just fine. They have fancier ones you can get as well, but you do need to have a scale to measure that. Having said that, you also do need measuring cups. So I have a nice set here. The basic measuring cups of a quarter cup, a third of a cup, a half of a cup, and a whole cup. The important thing about measuring cups is that the edge needs to be flat. So you need to be able to fill the cup up and take a knife blade and go across it and do a clean swish. If there's a little lip here or there's a dent here which prevents you from doing that, then you can't really get good measurements from the cups. So that's an important consideration when you get measuring cups. For liquid measurements, you also need liquid measuring cups. Now, these are plastic and they have a tilted angle to them. This allows you to look inside and see the measurements from above. So when it's sitting here, I can be pouring into it, and I can be looking down, I can see where the measurement is in the cup as I'm pouring. That's very important. A lot of the cups will have measurements only on the side. You have to crouch down or go upside down under the table to be able to read the side, and that's a little bit inconvenient. A couple of sizes are always good. This is a 1 cup, 2 cup, and 4 cup set. You may or may not have something like this. This is called a bench scraper. I like this one because it's a rubber handle. I've seen them with metal handles as well. They're extremely useful for a lot of purposes. Obviously, to scrape dough off of the surface and then bring it up is important, but also to apportion dough. So you have a loaf of dough sitting here, take the bench scraper and cut down into it and cut it into 2 or 3 or 5 pieces, whatever you need. Extremely useful tool, and one that you use almost every time you make bread or other kinds of doughs. How do you mix the bread? You need a stand mixer. A heavy-duty stand mixer that does have a dough hook attachment. There are several brands out there. This is the one that I use, and it works very, very well. It has a paddle, of course, as well, and it can have a whipping, a whisk attachment as well, but for the dough, it's the dough hook that you're going to use the most. What do you put the dough into when you cook it? Well, many of our breads are going to be in loaf pans. This makes a nice sandwich loaf, and this is a heavy-duty loaf pan. The lighter ones just don't hold up, so it's best to get good quality equipment when you're doing it. When you bring the hot loaf out of the oven, you want to put it onto a rack. It can be a flat rack like this. It can be something fancy with legs on it. The whole object is to keep it up off the surface so that it has equal air around it to cool. And of course, very often we cook in sheet pans. This is called a half sheet, and it's very, very common size. This is sized so that the rack that I was just using actually can fit inside of it, and that's useful for some purposes as well. So this is the basis of what you need. Flour, yes, and water, and a few other little accoutrements as we go along. A rolling pin, for example, which you may already have. But you need to get this stuff kind of assembled to get ready to bake sourdough. So again, I'm going to show you some links where you can get some of this material, or you may already have it, or you can borrow it from a friend, or a local store certainly is good as well. We're going to use this as the starting off point, and from here we've learned how to make starter and how to take care of it a little bit and what we need to do everything, and I guess from here we're going to start cooking some stuff. So stay tuned to this channel, the YouTube channel, the website, and there's a Facebook page as well for the Sourdough Simpleton. Please post and let us know what you're thinking, ask questions, and we'll use that as a guide to know which way to go with this site. So good luck in your baking, and we'll see you next time on the Sourdough Simpleton.